Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day. And today, the New York Knicks have signed PJ Tucker to a 10-day contract. PJ Tucker has not played this season. Last season, played 31 games with the Clippers and the 76ers, averaging 2 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, but started to play less. 2022-23 season with the Sixers, for example, was a starter with them. 75 games, 75 starts, 26 minutes per game, averaged 4 points per game, 4 rebounds per game. Played a nice role defensively for that team. And from three that season, shot a total of 39%. For instance, with the Miami Heat team in the 2021-22 season that made it all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics. He was a starter for that team, playing 71 games, starting in 70, had 28 minutes per game, averaging 8 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, and from three, shot amazing at almost 42%. He played a huge role in the Milwaukee Bucks championship run, being a starter for most of the Bucks playoff run, and was able to have a huge role in that. And he was also huge in the Houston Rockets, seasons. I, as a Rockets fan, watched those seasons, and he was great defensively and with his three-point corner shooting for the Rockets. Him and James had a lot of chemistry, and he had, I hate to count the 2020-21 season. That was such a terrible season because it was like the first bad season the Rockets had in a while. But, he had 3 full seasons in Houston where he was playing great basketball, and then had the half season, the 2020-21 season, before he got shipped off to Milwaukee. And it's not like he played terrible in that. I mean, he definitely played his worst in Houston out of his whole time in Houston, that 2020-21 season. It's just the Rockets were starting to go through that rebuilding stage, and Tucker wanted to play for a contender. The Rockets wanted Tucker to be on a contender and wanted to get rid of him to get some value for him, and they traded him, and then he was a great help to Milwaukee. So, look, I don't know where the PJ Tucker played such a good role in that team with his rebounding, his defense, his 3-point shooting. So I feel like the Bucks probably still could have won it without him, but he was a huge role in their team. So I guess that was one thing the Rockets did good that year, was give PJ Tucker to the Bucks. But I'm glad that he's finally going to stick somewhere. He was getting traded, all over the place, was getting passed around like chips, and I don't feel like that's because of PJ as himself. I mean, like, he's a good player. I know he's getting up there in age. He's 39. If the Knicks are going to be in a deep playoff run into May, he's going to be 40 years old. Turns 40 on May 5th, in a couple months. But I don't think it wasn't the fact that nobody wanted him. It was nobody wanted his contract. I feel like he can be a good help off the bench for a team, and that's why the Knicks are signing him. They need depth, and especially right now with Brunson injured, so they could use potentially PJ Tucker coming off the bench. But just to me, I feel like PJ Tucker. It was more of his contract. His contract is terrible if you look at it for his stats and his age and everything else. His contract was horrendous, and that's why nobody wanted to keep him, and eventually the Toronto Raptors ended up waiving him, which set him free to sign anywhere he wanted to. And also, honestly, I don't know if some of the teams that he was traded to that he actually wanted to play for. Like, he got traded to Utah. PJ Tucker does not want to play for Utah. Then he went from Utah to Miami. Look, I don't know why he wouldn't want to go back to Miami. Miami's a great city, and played some good basketball there, but I think it's not like, I don't think it's something where they don't just want. It's not like Utah doesn't want him. Like, Utah doesn't want him, but he also doesn't want Utah. And then, for instance, like going to Toronto, like him getting traded for Davion Mitchell. Obviously, Toronto doesn't want him because they don't want that horrendous contract, and they don't want to pay a guy as much as money as he's making when he's almost 40 years old and not even playing that well for the money he's making. But at the same time, PJ doesn't want to play in Toronto. But I could see him wanting to play in New York. I remember that terrible play between him and Eric Gordon in that 2019-20 season at the end of the that was the last season. The last good full season the Rockets had until this season, or if you consider last year was a pretty solid year for the Rockets. But that was a terrible inbound between Eric Gordon and PJ Tucker. It was if you've been watching basketball for a while, you guys know what I'm talking about with the MSG, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon thing. But had a bad moment there with EG, but it's a great place to play. It's great city. Great team. They might not be better than Cleveland and Boston, but adding in PJ, look, you already have such a good defensive team with OG and Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, and you're a great defensive team already. Then you add in PJ Tucker. I believe PJ Tucker can get some playing time in this 10-day contract. Throughout this 10-day contract, the Knicks will sign him to the remainder of the season contract. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.